Today we are going to deal about tenses, okay? So it is the problem of all, we say, levels, first year, second year and third year. So I'm going to try at least to solve this problem by giving you the rules and, if possible, some practices, okay? So let's start. So tenses, we have, of course, present, okay? We have past, and we have future. In each tense, of course, we have different other tenses, sub-tenses. First of all, we have the present simple, present perfect, and of course, present continuous. Okay? In past two, we have past simple, we have past perfect, and we have the past continuous. And for the future, of course, we have other tenses, but we use only the future simple. Okay, we use only the future simple, okay, in our text, in our use in kinetic speech or in listening or speaking or any other phase. Okay, so we are going to start with the present simple tense as the first point or thing. So, first of all, or number one, the present simple. For the present simple, we have the rule as follows. With I, you, they, and we. So the rule is here, verb, stem, which means verb into the infinitive. Example, so we say, for example, I work, you speak, they write, okay, etc. Okay? For the third person singular, okay, which is she, he, and it, we do the following. So it is verb plus s. Verb plus s. So this s, it can be just s. In other situations, it is es. In others, it is ies. So, here I'm going to explain to you why s in some verbs, because of the form of the verb, of course. Okay, some verbs we add just s, like for example verbs with e, like here, for example, give. So I add just s. She, he, it gives. Okay? For es, for example, we have the ones that include double s, sh, ch, x, and o. Okay? So let's give examples. For example, pass, passes, finish, finishes, touch, touches, and, for example, box, boxes, and do, does, I add es. Let's go to the ies. In this case, it is within when you have or the verb includes y. For y, when it is preceded by a vowel, it is a case, and when it is preceded by a consonant, it is another case. So if it is with a vowel, okay, it is preceded with a vowel, like for example, we have stay. Here is my vowel. Okay, any vowel. So I add just s. When it is preceded by a consonant, like for example in try, okay, this is my consonant. What do I do here? I drop or omit the y and I put ies, like this. Tries. This is the form. Okay? We said. Here, of course, I need to use the auxiliary forms. Okay? Auxiliaries form. Okay, within the present simple. So we have auxiliary to be, auxiliary to have, and auxiliary to do. Concerning to be, we have I am, she, he, it is, they, we, and you, we say are. Concerning have, we have I, they, you, we, it is have. Without two, the sum without two. Within she, he, it, which is the third person singular, I need to put s, and this verb is different, so it takes s like that, being has. Okay? Concerning auxiliary to do, we have with I, the same, okay, the same here, with I, they, you, and we, I use do. With the third person singular in here, so this one goes like that. With the third person singular she, he, and it is does, as we mentioned earlier. Okay? So the auxiliaries, we need them for the next tenses, like the continuous and the perfect. We use them, the auxiliaries, in the present simple, and we add something as like ing form or past participle of the verb. Okay? We see that after. So this is the present simple. We go to the forms or the different forms of the verb, like forms. We have affirmative, affirmative. We have the negative form, and we have the question form or the interrogative form, which is the question form or interrogative form. Interrogative. Well, of course, I ask question, I say yes or no. Okay? So, concerning the affirmative form, it is, for example, let's give an example. I speak English. I speak English. If it is negative form, I don't speak English. So for the negative form, I use not. I use not. So here I have to use the auxiliary to do. I cannot use the verb alone as it is. So in negative interrogative form, I use auxiliary to do. Well, here I say, I don't or do not speak English. I don't speak English. For the interrogative form, of course, I use auxiliary to do. I reverse the subject with the verb. Okay? It is the rule. In a question, when I ask a question, I reverse the subject with the verb. And I say the following. Do I or do you speak English? And of course, my question mark. My question mark. So here, it is with I. If it is with the third person singular, for example, I use she. So here, automatically, she speaks. We said with the third person singular, she, he, it, we use an as to the verb. So she speaks English. Here, of course, she doesn't speak English. I don't use do, so as it is, I put as. So here, since the form of the verb, it means requires es, not just as. Okay, so it is she doesn't speak English. And of course here please notice that speak, here no S, I omit it, I drop it. Of course the auxiliary is put into the tense. Okay, we put the auxiliary into the tense. And so we said she speaks English. In the negative form it is she doesn't speak English. What happens here? You notice that I omit S from the verb. Okay, look here, the verb is without S. Why? Because the rule says that when I use auxiliary, okay, before the verb, it takes the tense and the verb, of course, becomes or goes to the infinitive without to, okay? So it is a speak. This is what happens also in the interrogative form or the question form. So here what do I say? I say the same, okay? Does she speak English? Does she speak English? That's it. So you have the three forms of the language. And these forms prevail in each tense, either present, perfect, continuous, past, perfect, simple, continuous, etc. Well, now we deal, how do I know that I have to put present or past or future or whatever? So in the sentence, we have time markers. These time markers are here so as to help you to decide which tense to use. So each tense has its time markers. So the time markers of the present simple are always, sometimes, usually, generally, often, every. Concerning every, automatically we have every day, every week, every Monday, every summer, every month, every year, and so on. So in every we have year, month, week, summer, if we talk about seasons, okay, something that you repeat each season, each summer, so summer, etc. We use every, okay? These time markers, some are used after the subject. So I say, for example, here, I always speak English. Or, I always get up at 7 o'clock. I sometimes practice sport. So after the subject, they are put after the subject. But concerning every, it can be used at the beginning or at the end of the sentence. Like, for example, I start school every year, okay, or every September, okay. So here, I put it every into the end. I can use it at the beginning or at the end. So it is according to the sentence, it depends, okay. The second tense is the present perfect tense. And we said earlier, we mentioned that we used auxiliaries in present simple because we need them in this tense. So the present simple, it is a simple tense. The present perfect, it is a compound tense or complex. Why is it complex? Because we use auxiliary plus the verb, okay? And the verb in this case, of course, it is past participle of the verb. It is the past participle. So here what do we have? We have auxiliary to have. So with the present perfect or with the perfect tense, we use auxiliary to have, okay? So, to have plus what? Plus verb as past participle. Past participle. Okay. This is my rule. Concerning have, of course, we use it in the present simple. Present simple. Which which is have, or has, the third person singular. So with I, you, they, and we, I use have. With she, he, it, I use has. Plus the past participle of the verb given. Okay? So let's give an example. For example, I say, I have finished my project. I have finished my project. Auxiliary is here, and the past participle of the verb is have. Well, you notice that I used ed form for the past participle. Why? Because this is a regular verb. Concerning the past participle, we have either regular, okay, verb, or irregular verb. And the rule, of course, if it is regular, it takes ed form or d, okay? If it is irregular, it changes. Okay, we have a list, of course, you have the list of the irregular verbs. Some change, for example, once, others twice, others they change completely, and others they keep the same. For example, put, okay, cut. Concerning the ones that change completely, for example, go, went, gone, okay, they change, etc. So they keep on changing many times, okay? This is a matter of taking them by heart. You have a list, check or go and try to find the list and take them by heart. No other solution, okay? So if I use, for example, she, I say she has finished her project. If I want to use a verb that is irregular, for example, we say they have written. This is the verb to write, the past participle of the verb to write, so it is written. So they have written the lesson. Okay? So here is the perfect tense. And this tense also has forms. We have the three forms that we focus on. We have affirmative, we have negative, and we have interrogative. For the affirmative form, I say, I have explained the lesson. I have explained the lesson. So here, if I want to use the negative form, of course we know that the negative form, it is with the not, okay? So I say, I haven't, of course I abbreviate, so have not, haven't, okay? Explained, I haven't explained the lesson. If I use the third person singular that is has, of course we say, she has prepared a party. Of course, there, in the negative form, I say, she hasn't prepared, she hasn't prepared a party. We go to the question form or the interrogative form. We have, I don't use here, in the question form, I don't use auxiliary to do. In here, with auxiliary to have in the perfect tense or tenses, like, so either it is present or past. So I don't use auxiliary to do. I keep the auxiliary used in the sentence. So here I have and has. I keep it. I reverse it within the subject. I apply the rule of asking a question, which is I reverse the subject within the verb. So I do the following. Have you explained the lesson? And question mark. For has, samely, okay, has she prepared? Has she prepared a party? And question mark, okay? And of course, for this tense, we have also time markers. So, time markers, oh my God. Time markers of the perfect tense are, we have just, we have already, we have yet, we have ever. Well, concerning yet, we used it in the question and in the answer, of course. We have yet, we have ever, etc. Okay? If you find these words in the sentence, you have to use, of course, the present perfect tense. Let's go to the present continuous tense. The present continuous is also a compound or complex tense that is used within an auxiliary plus verb plus ing. Okay? As follows. Of course, which auxiliary is used with the continuous? So if you notice that we use auxiliary to have within perfect tenses and auxiliary to be within continuous tenses. So here I use auxiliary to be in the present simple tense, in the present simple, okay, plus verb plus ing form. So the progressive tense or the continuous tense is known with its progressive action, which means the action at the moment I'm talking is not yet finished. It is, taking time, okay? So here, of course, auxiliary to be in present, it is am, is, are. Of course, I am, she, he, it is, they, we, you, are. Okay? Plus verb plus ing. Let's give an example. I am speaking now. I am speaking now. Full stop. So, auxiliary to be plus verb plus the ing form. Okay, the progressive tense. For example, she is explaining the lesson. So, is, explain, ing form as usual. They are playing at present. They are playing at present. So here we use the progressive tense within auxiliary to be and verb plus ing form. Okay? Of course, we have the three forms as usual. We have the affirmative, we have the negative, and we have the interrogative. do the same for the affirmative form. We have the same thing. I say, I'm speaking. And the second one, it is not, of course, I use I'm not. I'm not. I'm not speaking. So, concerning the interrogative form too. So, what do? I reverse the subject or the subject with the verb, which is the auxiliary. Of course, I don't use auxiliary to do as we do in the questions. So, in perfect and in continuous, we use the auxiliary itself that is used in the tense. So, here we say, am I speaking? And question mark. The time markers, this tense is easy. We can manipulate it and do it easily. Time markers, we have at least 3 time markers that are at present, at the moment, and now. These are the time markers of the present continuous tense. So thank you for following us today. Okay, I hope it helps. These are basic lessons. Okay, and of course today we dealt with only the present tenses. Okay, next sessions are going to be devoted to other tenses like past and future. Okay, so follow us. If you need any help or you have comments or other suggestions, of course, of lessons that you don't really manage, leave a comment. I'm going to present them in the next session. Thank you very much and goodbye.